All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to This Week in ABATE. It is Tuesday, February 2nd. Normally these happen on Wednesdays, but the first week of the month there's a conflict, so we do these on Tuesdays for the first week of the month. Um, Everybody's asking, what's new, what's going on since last week. A lot of it has been looking through legislation. There are hundreds upon hundreds of bills that we are sorting through and trying to get and find what the latest is to let everybody know about that. And if you are paying attention to your MailChimp, you would see that the schedule, the kind of classes coming up for ABATE Steel will be coming up. And for those of you that were wondering what the music was there at the beginning, that is Wayne Hancock playing his song Ride. It's a few years old. We're going to try doing that for our intros. We want to find some media for you guys to kind of be able to relax to before we start these shows. So if you've got something that you would like to see on here, email me. Email's right here at the bottom. Let me know what you guys want to hear about. So as we move on here, we are going to go straight to Chris Hansen because Chris has to leave us to get on to his meeting. So we're going to let Chris regale you with the latest and upcoming events. Chris, if you would, take it away.
Thanks a lot, Josh. I'm glad everybody can make it on tonight. I know there's a bunch of you watching the Monster Energy AMA Supercross racing right now. By the way, on that note, if any of you missed Colt Nichols on his Yamaha in the 250 XS Series race on Saturday, you missed out. But he looked pretty good in qualifying today, too. So couple things to start. A reminder to everybody, we are on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We do need you to get over to YouTube and follow us, subscribe to us on there. We're trying to build that up, and the more subscribers we get, the more capabilities we have with that. So definitely get on the social media and follow us on all those platforms, especially YouTube. All these videos are going to be ending up on there after Facebook Live. So but we'll get right into local events happening around the state. And I know I've touched on this one a couple weeks in a row now, but again, Piasaw Gateway, they've got their ABC run going. Started last month, goes through December. And what you do with that is you ride around, put on the miles, stop at different locations and towns that start with every letter of the alphabet, take pictures, turn them in, and that's how you participate in that. So that's going on. And then on to the next event, which is going to be February 6th at 6 p.m. Thunder Rock has got their bowling night going on at T-Bird Lanes in Rochelle. It's $7 for 3 games and shoes. I mean, you can't really beat that. Everybody's welcome. Good family-friendly event there. So check out Thunder Rock's bowling night. Then we move on to Shoal Creek Abates Chili Cook-Off. That's the next day, February 7th, at their Moose Lodge, and it starts at 1 o'clock p.m. Goes till whenever it's done. They've got different classes, mild, medium, and hot. Registration entry fee is $5, so you're gonna eat quite a bit for $5. Again, you can't beat that. Prizes for each class. They've got a live auction, attendance, drawings, door prizes. So there's going to be a whole lot going on that day. So make sure you make it down there for Shoal Creek's event. Then we're going to move on to February 20th. And February 20th is going to be a busy, busy day if you're going to try and hit events. We're going to start with the Open Roads chapter. They've got their chili cook-off, Plano Hometown Lanes in Plano. It's $5 for the chili cook-off. If you bring chili, you eat for free. So make something. You don't even have to pay to eat. So you're going to be good. Like I said, that is February 20th from noon to 3. Then the same day, Central Illinois ABATE has got their Cabin Fever Party. That's at 6 p.m. at Harley's Pub in Galesburg. So make sure you get out there. You can bring some food to share out there to that event. Again, their Cabin Fever Party, 6 o'clock p.m. The exact same day again, Embra Valley has got their chili cook-off. There's a whole lot of chili going on this month, if you have not figured that out. Chili cook-off starts at 2, and then they bring in their broomstick pool tournament at 3 o'clock. And in case you missed it, 10 Mile Creek had just been covered in their local newspaper for their broomstick event that just happened. It was a good event by them. And as you know, Ryan Hubbard, our state coordinator, said, we need to start getting our local media involved. So good job to 10 Mile Creek ABATE on bringing them in and getting that coverage on there. But yeah, Embra Valley, 2 o'clock for chili, 3 o'clock for the broomstick pool tournament. Free jukebox starting at 4. So you're going to have a whole bunch of stuff going on. And the last event happening that day, and I'm sorry we don't have a flyer yet, but Mid-State ABATE has got their annual bowling party. That's happening at Old Bowl in Taylorville. And it's sign-ups at 2, bowling starts at 3, and it's 2 games of 9 pin, $15 a person. So yes, they got some definite stuff going on with charity auctions and all that. So and depending on how many bowlers they have will depend on the payouts. So the more show up, the better. So definitely make that a plan to get out there. And then the last thing I've got in February, again, is the 27th. That is going to be the mouse races or the mouse derby races done by Piasaw Gateway. Doors open at 6 and that starts at 7 o'clock. So plenty of stuff going on in February. You know, definitely make your way around, support these other chapters. Because you know eventually it's going to turn into where we're all supporting each other, because I'm going to keep harping on it. We are not a state board and 49 separate chapters. We are one group with the same goals, the same plans, and we need the same results. So I encourage you to do that. Josh, if you would you talk about steel coming up?
Chris, we can talk absolutely, Chris. We can talk about steel coming up. So ABATE Steel is going to be February 26th, 27th here in Springfield, Illinois. I have 3 classes myself that I'm going to be putting on. Chris has a 4th class that he'll be doing. He's going to talk about that next week. Chris had to leave us. Like I said, he had a meeting that he had to go to, so you're stuck with me for the rest of this. Anyway, give me just 1 second here. Apologize. So we run our own studio from back here. But Steel, February 26th to 28th. This is the event that you want to be at. If you're a member of ABATE and you're interested in what we do, you're interested in meeting members from around the state, this is the place to be. I myself, I'm doing 3 classes on this. One of the classes is going to talk about the future of transportation. We're going to talk about emerging technologies, lane usage, how it affects you. Did you know that we have motorcycles now that spy on you and can actually be used against you in a court of law? It's stuff that we're going to talk about. It's things that we're going to cover when we're talking about that. We're going to talk about grassroots organizing, effective ways to still use old school grassroots tools to get attention in a modern landscape. Some of the same stuff that we used to do grassroots wise in person, you can do now online and gain traction that way. So those are things we're going to talk about there. Then the last thing that we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about tools that each person can use, legislative tools, that kind of stuff, ways for tracking your legislators. You see the things on Facebook that make you wonder, oh, hey, is this legislator, really trying to ban whatever? I'm going to give you the tools to be able to look into it yourself and to learn how to hold public officials accountable. So that's the third thing that we're going to be talking about at Steel, or at least that I'm going to be working on in the breakout sessions. Now, lest you think the entire thing is nothing but classes, it isn't. Friday night is a nice, large social get-together. It's going to be in an expanded room so we can cover social distancing. It will be a fundraiser to benefit the ABATE PAC that evening. Then Saturday night is a banquet, and the Saturday night banquet is going to have Representative Dan Calkins there. And Representative Calkins is not only a good friend to ABATE, but he's also a partial owner in a flat track racing team. He has a couple bikes there at the Harley Davidson Museum. We're going to be asking him about bringing a couple bikes to Steel for you to see yourselves. So that is going to be going on. Speaking of the tools that we use as part of ABATE, in the coming weeks, we're going to be posting videos. The videos are going to talk about the different things that we use, whether it be MailChimp. Some of you saw this week in MailChimp, we talked about the February newsletter coming out through that. A lot of people don't realize just from that MailChimp email, you can do a lot. You can visit our YouTube channel, you can visit our Facebook videos, you can see what we're doing on Twitter, Instagram, you can visit our website, renew your membership. These are all things that are capable through every one of those emails that gets sent out. So we're going to cover that. We're going to cover a few of the things that you can do on the websites. We're going to cover a few of the different things that you should be looking for on social media, how to navigate the Facebook pages, that kind of stuff. These are all tools that you can use to help promote ABATE, but you can also use to help make your chapters stronger. So be looking for those tutorial videos to be coming out over the next couple of weeks. So the next thing that we have for you, in part of doing legislative, in part of looking online at the bills. Like I said, I'm sorting through hundreds of bills, but one has already kind of jumped up, and that's off-road use again. A lot of people don't realize that A.B.A.T. of Illinois not only represents street motorcycles, but we represent off-road activities as well. Four-wheelers, dirt bikes, that kind of stuff. So in part of representing that, we are continually approached every year by off-road users, side-by-sides, ATVs, dirt bikes, that want to be able to use county highways, county roads, and whatnot. And every year a bill comes up that would allow for that. Well, this year the bill has come up. It looks like it's the closest I've seen to any bill that has a reasonable chance of passing. But for right now, we're going to kind of watch it. There's a few things in there that we're not happy with just yet. We're going to talk to the bill sponsor about. But this is also one of those things where we don't have a lot of our members that are talking to off-road issues with us or asking us about off-road issues. So if you're an off-road person or you know off-road people that have really wanting to use their off-road vehicles as a slow speed vehicle, and it would be roads 55 miles an hour and under, if that's something they really want to do, they need to get involved with the ABATE. They need to talk with us. They need to work with us on getting that through, because we're the only lobbying group, the only grassroots lobbying group that's even remotely looking at off-road issues. Hunter John Harris is our off-road liaison. He represents us with AMA District 17 as well. He's been instrumental in getting a state-funded off-road park up and off the ground. It's going to be down in the Carbondale area this year, hopefully by the end of this year. But this is something that we work on. A lot of people don't realize we work on. So if you've got people that are interested in that, please make sure that you are getting them involved with ABATE or let them know that this is what we are working on. And part of getting involved with ABATE, our annual lobby day is April 14th. It will be at the State House Inn. How the event is going to take place, though, remains a little bit up in the air. We're looking at a few different solutions because of COVID. It's not going to be your standard lobby day like we've done over all the other years. We're going to look at how we can expand the presence and space things out a little bit. We may even look at holding the reception outdoors in the evening, if the weather were to be cooperating. As for reserving a room, Dan, I saw your question earlier from Star of Rock. When reservations are available, they will be posted. It will go out in a MailChimp. It'll go out then. First priority is making sure that we get the contracts taken care of. We're still working back and forth with the hotel on the contracts. The only thing they've done right now is guaranteed us the day. So we have that day. It is the second Wednesday in April. It'll be April 14th. I hope to see everybody there. The more we have, the more of an impact we make. We may be the only group doing any kind of grassroots lobbying this year. So let's keep that in mind. With that said, we are trying to keep these, somewhat short, something keep people somewhat interested. So I'm going to go ahead and jump ahead to our little bit of our wrap up here. So we've had a few questions coming in. Any bills that will include UTVs? That's coming from Dwayne Rudolph. Dwayne, the only bill including UTVs right now that I'm aware of is this bill that we're looking at for allowing low speed vehicles on roads that are 55 miles an hour or under. So while it's technically a low speed vehicle, it would, up to 55 miles an hour. The interesting part about that bill is that it is $76 plate is what they're asking for right now. There's a few things with equipment, a few things with regulation that we're got some concerns about. And on top of that, this really isn't something that we're hearing a lot about from our membership. We hear about it from off-road groups. Every year I get a new group of off-road riders that they're trying to get it done locally in their area. But we don't hear about it from chapter members, from ABATE members, people that are actually involved with our organization. So if this is something that we are interested in, need to hear more about it from our membership for us to push it a little bit harder. But also, if you're involved in off-road and you want to see this go through, once again, join ABATE. Go to abate-il.org. You can join online, attend a local chapter meeting. Those are all things that we can do. Seeing that, I see a few things for ASM. That doesn't look like it's an ABATE deal, though. Outside of that, folks, this has been This Week in ABATE. There really isn't anything else to bring you right now. There will be quite a bit coming out through the MailChimp and in next week's. One last thing about these shows. They're going to run the first Tuesday of the month and then every Wednesday during the rest of the month. So every week, Wednesday, with the exception of the first week of the month, is going to be Tuesdays. The first Tuesday, I'm going to try to bring in different board members. So next month, beginning of March, maybe we'll have our state coordinator, Ryan Hubbard, on. If there's somebody that you want to hear from, something that you want to hear about, these shows are driven by members. So email me. My email is right there, ski@abate-il.org. Message us through the page, leave comments, let us know what you want to know about. And that is what we will cover in upcoming shows. A reminder from our state secretary, if you're watching this and you're a board of director rep, you need to let her know if you're attending the meeting in person or virtually on February 13th. You really need to do that as soon as possible. Outside of that, I'm Josh Witkowski. I'm State Legislative Coordinator. Chris Hansen was with us earlier, the Public Relations Coordinator. This has been This Week in ABATE. Oh, pardon me, one last question. I see, are we going to have a state party? Yes, we are having a state party. Mark Wearies is our activities coordinator. He'll be talking about that, or he'll be putting stuff out about that, but it is currently planned for the Menard County Fairgrounds. It will be, I believe, the last weekend in June this year. So that is going on. But as I said, this has been This Week in ABATE. I hope everybody has enjoyed the little bit of information we've been able to bring, and I look forward to seeing you next week, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Until then, I'll talk to you later. Wednesday the 10th, 7 p.m.